On my first tour in America in 1968, we were hit by music coming everywhere. We were used to the UK where, you know, rock and roll and young people's music was sort of pushed to one side. I mean, everybody was making a fortune from it, but, you know, artistically nobody really wanted to accept that it was there. Then we had all these FM stations in America. You could tune to 20 different stations, all playing great stuff. Not the same now, but it was then. And I heard a track which would just hit me in the face. It was just it was on a jazz station. Very, very cool and groovy. It was an album by a Hungarian guitarist called Gabor Szabo. And the album was called Dreams. And it felt so good, I checked out the drummer, Jim Keltner. And that was the first time I'd heard of Jim. Well, it wasn't the last thing I heard from Jim. I mean, again, he's just got the feel. And he did a couple of records with Ry Cooder. Oh, that's glorious. The rhythms are all upside down and all over the place. You try and follow them, you can't, because they're for that moment. That's what makes them magical. And I got to meet Jimmy when he was over here working with my great pal George Harrison when they were doing stuff together in George's studio. He's a wonderful man, but what a player. I remember there was a live show we did for George, and there were 3 or 4 drummers all whacking away at the same time. And Jimmy was the best drummer there, but he took the back seat. He just said, I'm just going to hold this tempo and hold it so the other guys can do what they want. And that's exactly what he did. He played the music. He just held it together. Classy guy, Jim Keltner. Now we come to another glorious, glorious player. A lot of players have technique. You can learn that. Depends how much work you want to put in. And other players are born with a feel. They just understand what the rhythm needs. You don't need to be told, it's just natural. That's the tune, this is the way it has to be. And there's one incredible guy that just stands out straight away to me. That's the amazing Steve Gadd. He's been on so many great records, and they all sound better because of him. His work with Paul Simon, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. I mean, talk about invention and taking rudimentary drumming and making it work in a popular music situation. Fabulous. But if you really want to see something that shows his expertise, try and find a piece of video of Steve with the Michel Petrucciano trio. It's live, and it is a tour de force of perfect drumming. He does one little tune where he's playing brushes. He's brilliant with brushes as well as sticks. And it's like a samba. And I've been trying to work out for the last 15 to 20 years how he's getting that samba feel with just what he's doing with the brushes. And I can't do it, I can't figure it out, but it's fabulous. But Steve Gadd, just look for records with his name on it and it'll be brilliant, I promise you. I know this looks like I'm harking back a long way with my choices here, but that's what influenced me when I was a younger man. And there was a wonderful singer-songwriter came out in the late 60s, early 70s. I can't remember, it's that long ago. James Taylor. That first record he brought out. The drumming on it was incredible. So I had to find out who the drummer was. Russ Kunkel. He and Leland Sklar, again, a fabulous bass player. What a rhythm section to have behind you. But listen to Russ's playing on that first James Taylor album, and other stuff as well. But it's free, it's inventive, it's musical, and Listen and you'll learn something. Hey, you'll learn something from all of these guys I'm mentioning. And it's not about you having to like all the music. We don't like everything, that we hear. But you'll find, if you are a musician and you're a drummer musician, check out what he's doing. It's absolutely beautiful. James Brown, what a band. He always had a great band. They've changed, gone in and out the door frequently, but what a band he surrounded himself with. There's a wonderful album called Live at the Apollo, and it's all good, but one track that just hits me in the face every time I listen to it is a track called There Was a Time. It's a long, long track. I think it's about 10, 12 minutes, something like that. And the drummer, Clayton Filio, I think that's how you say it. Again, he just hits the groove and holds that whole band together in such a vibrant, swingy, funky way. I don't know much else by him, but that one track says it all to me. He just knew what the groove was. He knew what the feel was. And it's mesmeric. It is so insistent. It's so constant. It's just so good. So, There Was a Time, Live at the Apollo. Mr. Groove, Stax Records. He was on nearly everything. A guy called Al Jackson, from Booker T and the MGs, Al Green, Wilson Pickett, you name it. He was on every record going. But if I pick out two examples of how you can play nothing and play everything, that's what we'll do here. The first one is one that everybody knows, Green Onions. If you carefully listen to what he's doing, which is very, very little, but it doesn't need anything else. If he'd added more, it would have become less good. This is what it required and this is what it got. Fabulous thing. But there's another track by Booker T, and it's a version of the wonderful Gershwin tune, Summertime. It is so slow and so controlled, and the drumming on it is so musical. Again, if you don't know that, find it. Booker T and the MGs, Summertime. And another track where he played absolutely nothing, and it's absolutely perfect, was with Al Green, a track called Take Me to the River. It's going tick, tick, tack, tick, 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 tack, tick. That's all he does. Maybe the odd little push, a little tiny fill. But boy, it just feels incredible. Again, it didn't need anything else. He just understood that you don't need to make a lot of noise to make a lot of noise. A great Southern American band, and I don't mean South America, I mean Dixie, the Southern States. Little Feat, great band. I mean, they have a different way of playing down there. Totally different from the people from the north of the US. It's far more laid back and far slinkier, Just check out a track called Dixie Chicken from Little Feat. It's all about the feel, and it's all about how relaxed can you be without being asleep. That's what that is. And that guy, Richie Haynes, great player, and just understood that. I try and play relaxed, but I can't hold it quite that far back. Fabulous track and wonderful demonstration of cool, groovy drumming. Richie Haynes, Little Feat, Dixie Chicken. And now we come to a master of technique and damn good feel too. And a lot more of you will know about this guy, Billy Cobham. He came out with a fabulous solo album called Spectrum, with a lovely track called Stratus on it, and that's worth checking out because it's just flows so beautifully with these crazy Cobb and fast single fills in the music. But he also did music with the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And you must check out. If you don't know them, you've got to check out the pure musicality of that band. It's off the wall. It's all over the place, you know, lyrically. Top lines are mesmerizing. But if you don't know it, just open your eyes and have a listen. Open your eyes, never listen. Open your ears and have a listen. Again, it may not be your thing, but you won't be able to doubt the sheer genius of the music and of Billy Cobham. So this is the morning after that little piece, and I realized I messed up. I told you I was going to list 15 drummers. I only listed 14. And the reason that happened was there was one very important drummer that I didn't want to forget. So I wrote the name on this piece of paper, and the piece of paper fell on the floor, and I forgot. Now this musician was not important in my early development because the music wasn't there then. But once I found the work from this great player, it opened my eyes. Like many things in this world, we think it's purely in the man's domain, a man's world. This great player showed me that wasn't true, that both sexes can do this wonderful thing, drumming, and do it fantastically well. So we're talking about the remarkable Sheila Escovedo, Sheila E. Now she's played with some of the biggest artists in the world. Prince, Madonna, Beyonce, even Ringo's all-star band. Now you don't get offered those gigs unless you're really, really good. And she is really, really good. So if you haven't heard of Sheila E., and I know a lot of you will have, but those of you who haven't, get your fingers twiddling on the keyboards and find her and just enjoy this wonderful musician's work. She is special. Anyway, now I've got that rectified, and my apologies to Miss Escovedo for dropping you on the floor. I really wanted to get that in, and I didn't want to shoot the whole thing again, because when you're working without a script like this is, the second time, third time you do it, it's never as good as just letting it roll as your thoughts develop. So it's done, and now I can properly say bye for now.